Intrusive thought would be anything that a person does not want to have, any thought that they do not want to have. When a person has let their life become really wrapped up in pornography, then often what the intrusive thoughts are for them are pornographic images they've seen in the past that continue to play in the hard drive of their mind, that they can pull up at any time and can be going through their workday, but still seeing the pornography in their mind, or they're pulling up some fantasy that's based on the pornography. What triggers an intrusive thought? Maybe it's a visual trigger. It's somebody that's dressed provocatively, or maybe it's somebody that's not doing anything provocative. They may just be a person going through the normal workday, and the addict fixates on that person and then begins to play the fantasy out in their mind. There's many things that can trigger a person. I often sit down with the person I'm working with and get them to fill out a list of triggers. And the first said, okay, let's do a list. I call it a POP triggers plan. The POP, places. What are the places that trigger you? The O, what are the occasions / circumstances that trigger you? And then people, what are the people that trigger you? And it's not who are they, but what groups of people. Is it say women of a certain age, or ethnicity, or hair color, or with body piercings or tattoos, or whatever. After listing the triggers, figuring out what their triggers are, then to be able to come up with one specific thing they can do to counter that. I mean, I'll get a person to list a trigger. Maybe he says, if I go to my favorite sports site on the internet, that's a trigger. I said, really? Why is it a trigger? He said, well, they've always got there on that particular site what they call the babe of the day. And he said, there's just a picture of a woman there. He said, now if I click on it, I know that I can be, that I'm going to see more of her and probably can get into pornography pretty quickly. He said, so my sports site is a trigger. So what can you do then if you encounter that trigger? And, or what can you do to keep that from being a problem? And he may say, you know what, I'm going to have to just stay off that site. I can't go to that site anymore. And so that ends up being a tool. Another trigger may be just news sites. Any reputable news site, and there's always a sidebar of different articles that a person could click on, and the unfortunate thing is that they're only about 2 clicks away from pornography at any time. There's a celebrity. There's a celebrity wardrobe malfunction. There's, and so it goes. And I think the important thing is for a person to be able to understand what the triggers are so that they can put together a plan for dealing with them.